So here we have it, Boyes versus Ruiz. Many people call Ruiz Baby Boyes actually on the tour. I think similar hairstyles and play fairly quick. And this match is definitely from a few years ago. I'm not exactly certain when, so it's definitely a few years ago because I look quite slim. I think I better get back to that gym. So there you see, it's a Eurotour match. As I said before, have no clue how this match went, so I'm certainly intrigued. Don't even know if I won the match, to be fair. Probably lost. So Baby Boyes, he just underhit that on the first shot. Sometimes easy to do that when you're not quite got used to the table yet. There's a good pot though there from Ruiz. So, pretty good start here. He looks quite young himself there, to be fair. This must be a good 8 years ago, I would say. 7, 8 years ago. Maybe a bit longer. Likes to move on the shot, does Ruiz. I'm going to watch for that in this match because it's hard to see whether he does it after the shot or during the shot. And there he is, the slimmer version of myself. Crikey, I must be about 13, 14 stone there. Pretty good break, cue ball got kicked and hooked as ever. Oh yeah, this must be 10 years ago. I'm just looking at what cue I was using. I think it's the old Predator 5K. Not really watched much of myself play pool actually, so I'm looking forward to this. Playing a push out, nothing much you could do. Bit of a strange push out to be fair, but he's got a shot at a pot, or it is a pretty easy safety shot. Push out was never my strongest point. I think I always took it a bit for granted, to be fair. There you see the easy safety. Has he left a gap though? I don't think he has. We're sporting similar hairstyles. I think that's why he was known as Baby Boyes on the circuit. And obviously this is a good few years ago and Sanchez is still playing, still not really fulfilled his potential yet, to be fair. When you look at the likes of Joshua Filler and Fedor Gorst and Jason Shaw, still not quite done what he's capable of, but still a young man, unlike myself. So I did play a bit of a strange shot there. Obviously the 4 ball must pass this brown 7, otherwise he'd have tried to get down table a bit further with the cue ball. Let's just have a look if he moves on this shot. Yeah, there you see. But he didn't pass, so obviously he was just putting the 3 and trying to play safe, but he's made a mess of that one. So surely here, Karl, all you do is just bump this to the bottom rail and leave distance. Yeah, nice shot. Top of the table, fuming. God, I look fit there. Jesus, I better get back in that gym. January, I'll start. Always start in January. Pretty good shot there from Sanchez. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Very good pals with David Alcaide. Now what am I doing here? Am I playing the jump shot? Yeah, so I've got the jump cue, but I've just come up table to look at the 2 rail kick. Two rail kick's not a bad option, but I've obviously bottled it and just gone for the short stick. The thing with jumping is it's pretty easy to get over the ball, the way they make these jump cues these days. Got to elevate quite high though, because it is pretty close to the object ball. Trying to hit low side of the 4 there, just to leave distance. Didn't really control the cue ball there, you could see it bouncing back and forth. So it's a pretty shocking start, to be fair, from myself. This is just a case of making sure you put your ball. Nice to watch though, Francisco. Plays the game quickly, always seems to be easier on the eye. I wonder how old he was here in this match. Because he can't be that old now, can he? He's got to be about late 20s, 30. So he could have been late teens in this match. I'm pretty young myself, actually. I'll have probably been about late 20s. Yeah, late 20s probably. European Tour, very, very tough to win on that tour. Funny really, because even now we talk about Francisco's break shot, very good. And you can see there many, many years ago how well he breaks. Interesting to see how he plays this. Yeah, just around right hand side of the table. I thought originally he was going to try and swing it round, which would have been a bit silly. This is just connect the dots. Easy stuff, this, really. So the guys at Billiard Network, you can find their channel on YouTube, have sent me this match so we can discuss it. And knowing them guys, they've sent a match where I lose 9-0. Cheers, boys. So, 3-0 down. Let's see how I was breaking back in the day. Not too clever. Covered the one though, that's the main thing I suppose. If you come up dry. Now is he going to try and play thin off this? Or is he going to go off the back rail? Thin's always a tricky shot, this. Yeah, you can easily miss it or hit it thick and scratch. Didn't really like the shot he played. He's 3-0 up. Why risk playing such a difficult shot? And you know, very, very difficult shot what he tried there. You're 3-0 up, you may as well let me try the difficult stuff. Could have played a little push, tempt me into the shot or something like that. Poor shot by myself, really. Should have been locked on that ball. Cut this one railer out. Yeah, I mean, I know he's hooked, but all he's got to do is hit this and could be your lucky day. And it's not the worst result. I mean, obviously, I think I can chop this ball in, but the cue ball will be travelling. And there's balls to be avoided. Actually played that pretty well. Did I get there though? I think I just did. No. You can see the disgust. Not many people watching, is there? Shame really. Eurotour always seem to struggle getting the fans. Personally think that was down to locations of many of their events. So, playing the jump shot. Should really get close to this, to be fair. Pretty close, but it has to be said, it's a shocking start. Funny really, them little thin cuts where you've got to concentrate on the cue ball was never really good for me. So this rack's all about pink 4 to the 5 and then the 5 to the 6. They're going to be the key shots. Yeah, Francisco still on the circuit, still playing a lot, travelling around. Not quite done himself justice yet. A lot of movement on that shot. Very eager. Yeah, it was a nice shot, to be fair. Good pot and good speed. I'll be sat in my chair now fuming, knowing I'm about to go 4-0 down in a race to 9 in Treviso. Yeah, a little bit of movement now. I'm going to keep watching that. Yeah, it sort of looks like he hits the ball, but he seems very eager to move as soon as he's hit it. And there you have it, 4-0 down. Will I win a rack? So you sat in your chair, you fall down, your opponent breaks off, you look at the table and you're just so happy that he's not got an easy run out. Now can he get through the gap of the 9 and the 7 to pop this one ball? Obviously the red 3's tied up with the green 6 to the right, so it's a little bit of insurance. Obviously you play many pool matches and the start of the match, you know, doesn't always go your way, so you kind of go into a different mindset. He's all relaxed and happy because he's 4-0 up. I'm in complete shreds, 4-0 down. But that is part of the game. You've got to keep grinding, be patient, and hopefully try and turn it. I used to quite enjoy losing, to be fair. I used to see it as more of a challenge to try and dig in, make something happen. I'd just be telling myself 4-0 down, I'll be delighted. Set myself a little target here. I'd be delighted if I could go, well, I'd be delighted with 8-8 to be fair at 4-0 down, but I'd try and set myself a little target of, you know, 7-7 or something. So I'd try and forget about being 4-0 down, and I would try and start afresh in my mind and think, let's play to 7 from now, and if I can win 7-3, I've made it 7-7, and then the pressure's on him because he was 4-0 up. It's safe, but it's an easy kick shot. He's actually got a chance of making the 1 and the 8 here. There you see, he's just lining it up. Yeah, as I was saying, I'd just be setting myself that little goal here now. Sat in my chair thinking, it's not gone too good, but I'd take 7-7, 8-8. You'd be delighted to get this match back to 8-8. and have a one rack shootout, rather than, you know, maybe there's a lot of pool players out there who, you know, are a bit like scared to 4-0 down, and, you know, they're probably quite angry with themselves, but most of the top pros, they can handle it, and they just try and dig in, and it's just about making something happen now. That's all you can do. Just try and change something in the match, get a bit of pressure back on your opponent. I wonder if I've still got that shirt somewhere. I've got like a suitcase full of old pool tops. I think after I've done this, I'm going to go and dig it out and see how tight that is on me. Or I might just go for a run, actually. The hair was on point back then, though. So I've played the hook, and I've probably sent the 3 ball a little bit too far of her, because I think he can go one rail past the 8, yeah, and make a hit. So again, a shocking safety shot. It's funny really, because when I used to play on the circuit, I wasn't really a massive I could practice when I went to the tournaments with the lads. I'd play like with Appleton, Mellin, the other English guys, Peach or whatever, and, you know, I'd have a practice, and I used to quite enjoy that. But when I was at home, I used to hate it, because it was just on my own, and I'd never work on anything. But since I've been doing the commentary, you know, I've never watched as much pool, and I think I've learned a hell of a lot. So I think if I was to play again, I'd probably be a lot stronger in certain departments. Pretty good shot there from the young boisterous. Loose hands there. You could see with my cue action I was very fluent, because I had to get the cue ball down, you know, kill it past the 6 slowly. It was a good execution shot. So there you see he's going to try and go 1, 2, 3 rails and kick this from behind. Needs a bit of luck, but distance is key. If he can just get this 3 ball back down the table, there is a few balls down here, so good things can happen. Could even possibly, could he pot it in the middle if he hits it a certain way? Needs a bit of help here, and he's not got it, so it's an opportunity. Never used to like this shot. I always felt when I got into 9 ball, the out and out proper 9 ball players, so obviously the likes of myself, Darren, Chris, we all come from English 8 ball, where you play a lot of stop shots and you don't really spin the cue ball. And I always felt the likes of like Ralph and Niels and Ortman, who was a top player when I sort of come on the scene, they always played this shot really good. They sort of got into the cue ball and they made a lot happen. That's probably why I bumped into the 8 for that reason. That's where I think the top 9 ball players would spin that in and try and come above the middle. What a cueist, look at that. I hope I pot this now after saying that. I'm just sort of willed it in. Didn't cue it great. You just want that first rack on the board though, because you know, even though you've played a lot of pool, there's no like getting on the table and just putting a few balls just to settle you down. I'm slating Francisco, but there's a lot of movement from myself at the moment. This game must be from 2010, 2011. To be fair, I actually look really good on the cue. Not that I'm big-headed or anything, but well, I've certainly played a poor positional shot there. You don't ever want to leave yourself jacked up. That is for sure. What was he doing here? But I've slotted it home, and is this my first rack of the match? Wasn't pretty, but it's on the board. Boys to break. I don't know what break cue I've got there actually. Break cue, is that? Is it a predator? Must have been a predator. So I'm still at the table, but I can't pop the 2-ball. I know what I'm like. I'll have been fuming. I'll have been thinking, couldn't it just gone over the pocket? Easy run out. Did I get there? Sort of, not really. You want to be leaving that shot full, so he's full ball snookered behind the 9. That way he can't kick it. I've left an easy kick. So he's just going to try and kick this 2-ball just to, just left side of the red 3 and try and get the 2-ball on the top rail. And he'd love it if the cue ball could stay behind the 8. Well, he's hacked at that. Has he fluked the 6? You lucky bleeder. I'll have been an angry man sat in that chair. I'll have been saying it should be call shot this game. Funny really, when you're playing, it's like the jump cue, even though I used to use it a lot because I was scared of kicking, but when your opponent pulls out the jump cue, you're thinking, oh, I don't like this jump cue. But now I don't play and I commentate, I kind of like the jump cue. It's funny how your mind changes. So this is a long pot and he's got to cue it well. And that is the moment I've been waiting for. Just that little bit of weakness. Now he's half got away with it because he's missed his ball and it could have gone easier, but I'm at the table. So in my mind, I'm just building myself up for my shot because I know this is a big moment now. He were 4-0 up, everything's kind of like going his way, he feels, good, he's happy with the way the match has gone. So you're just hoping for some kind of mistake, and he fluked a ball there and he had a good opportunity. But it's not an easy pot, it's very thin. Cue ball's travelling. And I've missed it. It goes from bad to worse. Wasn't easy, but it didn't look like I cued it too good. More willed it in than cued it. Yeah, so it was a small opportunity gone there. Francisco missed his ball, had half a chance there. It was a thin cut, but it was a chance to try and get this match back to 4-2. He played that quite nice. I mean, spinning it off 2, you can easily land short or sometimes scratch, but he's absolutely perfect there. Table looks to be running quite quick there as well. And there it is, Boyes 1, Ruiz 5. Let's have a look at his break. I said before, he's sort of known to be one of the best breakers at the cut break. And there you see he makes the wing ball, actually nearly made the 9 ball there. And look at these have come out pretty good. First shot, you've got to kind of get into the cue ball here because it's thinnish. Playing it into kind of a blind pocket. Blind pocket means if you can't see the pocket in your eye line. Oh, that is a shocker. What has he done there? You could see the body movement. Oh, I'll be fuming here. Inside, I will be fuming. I know obviously your opponent misses and you know you're happy to be back at table, but you'd be much happier to be back at table with this 1 ball over a pocket knowing that you're going to run out. I'm just sat there thinking, what is going on? Stood there rather. I think I used to do that a lot though because my safety game was not that good. I didn't have a lot of confidence in my safety game. But I just want to try and make something happen because the last 2 racks now he's thrown his shoulder at the ball, so I just want to try and get back in the match. And you can see I'm just looking at this thinking, what on earth do I do? I think you just got to chip it into the gap, haven't you, Karl? What are you doing here? I'm not so sure about this, what you're trying here. So, yeah, I think you just got to try and float the 1 ball in between the gap. And then the cue ball will run off the 2 ball just near the bottom rail, I think. Don't know what I'm attempting here. Yeah, that is poor. Weren't even really on that. I don't know what I was thinking there. Funny really, because like I said, it's probably 9-10 years ago, and now when I look at the table I'm thinking I've got a different mindset on the table now when I'm looking. Like what I've attempted there is just hideous, nothing short of hideous. Probably a bit frustrated as well, but so he's got a thin cut here. As I said before, the cue ball will be moving. Might even play safe he has played safe. Tried to get the cue ball in behind the 8 and he's done a pretty good job there. Straight for the jump cue again. To be fair, not really an easy kick shot anyway, is it? So the jump cue is probably the option. No, I think I'm trying to hit this on the left hand side. He's tried to go for the 9, the cheeky devil. Just kind of praying at shots at the minute, that's what it looks like. I mean, you could have sent me a match where I played well, guys. Cheers. It's a funny old game, his 9 ball though. Good pot there from Mini-Me. I wonder what round this was. I wonder if it was late on or early on. Don't like this camera angle much, I know that. Much prefer the overhead. Now shot there, needs to be pretty high because of where the 6 is. Yeah, he's so eager to get up. Next time I watch him play, because it's, 8, 9, 10 years on this now, I'm going to see if he still moves on the shot. Well, as soon as he hits it, he's up. I would suggest any aspiring pool players out there not to do that. Stay as still as you can. Look, up again. As soon as he hits it, he's up. For no reason though, you may as well just stay down the extra few seconds. Stayed down on that one though. 6-1. Down. Lovely. Now let's have a look at my break. My arm's quite far out. Just when you want an easy table, you're just praying for an easy table. The 2 ball is blocked, so it won't pot. Right, what shot am I going to play here, Carlito? I'll tell you what, how's this finished up? It's not too bad, I don't believe. I'm not sure if this 3 ball passes the 9 and the 7 either. So I did get the hook, but 2 ball bounced out a bit far, so it's a good job the cue ball was good. Very close to the object ball this though, so this is not an easy jump shot. Nick Vandenberg used to play this shot pretty good. He used to like hold the cue a bit like a dart and pop it over. That's why he's put the jump cue back. Feels it's too close. Yep, so he's kicked it safe. He'll be happy with that one. Now this is an interesting situation. What on earth do you do here? You can't play the cue ball back down table and keep the 2 up there. You can't play off it thin. Doesn't cut up the rail. Am I trying to bank it into the 8? I mean, the 8's not over the pocket. Oh, I've been a lucky boy there. I can see what I've half tried to do. I've tried to just get the cue ball down table and just keep the 2 anywhere in the top half. But that little flick and avoid the scratch has worked out lovely. Yeah, it was a bit of a horrible position I was left in there. Kicking off the top rail with a bit of right spin. Oh, and he's hit the rail. Surely I just try and bump this 2 ball onto the right rail and use the 6 and the 4 as a blocker. I've even been cheeky and spun the cue ball in behind the 7. I think now if I was playing though, I'd have probably tried to use the 2 ball and get that a bit higher and kind of forget about the cue ball. But back then I was just a complete lunatic. So he's made contact. Can I pop this ball past the 6? Even if I can, from this view it does look like the 3 ball's awkward, so that's why I'm playing safe. I mean, it's safe, but you would expect your opponent to hit this, but obviously you don't know where it's going to end up. Looks like he's just giving it a whack. I'm not really sure what he tried to do there, but whatever. Yeah, everything's just going a little bit awkward at the minute. I've not really got an opportunity to make something happen, but I've locked him up a few times now. This one's a lot better though. There's distance. Even if he hits this ball, It looks like the cue ball and the object ball are going to stay up near the top end of the table. Could even scratch. He's missed it altogether. So now I've got ball in hand. Does this red 3 pass? And I don't think it does. Otherwise, I'd have played the shot by now. So what do you do here? Do you try and break it out? Obviously, you've got ball in hand. Yeah, I'm just looking here where if I can put the cue ball anywhere on the table to leave a natural angle to break this 3 ball out. Am I trying to go in between the pink 4 and the 6? That is nothing short of hideous. I would never, ever, ever play that shot now in a million years. What a wally! Trying to screw it in. That is officially shocking. Oh my god. Completely lost the plot there. Trying to screw into the ball. That is funny stuff. The reason why that's no good is because you can easily overscrew the ball or underdo it and just miss the ball altogether. And I was not even like trying to hit it to make something happen. I'd have been better off trying to pop the 2 in the other middle and then topping the cue ball off the left side rail, and then the cue ball goes into the 9 to knock it out. What I've done there is some funny stuff. I don't even know if I got the hook. I must have done, because if I didn't, he could chop this ball all the way up to where the 8 ball is. I mean, the kick shot here for him is pretty good. He's got a really good chance of making it in the side. He'll go close. I'd have been better off just unscrewing my cue, shaking his hand, and getting the next flight home after that shot. That is a mistake. When I made a complete balls up of that shot, he's just got to really keep the pressure on. What he's done there is he's just given me a small lifeline. He's tried to roll it, and whenever you're trying to roll it like that, you've got to hit it thin. No matter how straight the table is, it doesn't mean it's going to run 100% straight. You could hit a little bit of short or anything. It could just turn off a hair. For me, it'd have been better off kicking it and trying to make it in the side. Amazing watching this, really. All these years later, what you spot. Again, bit of a weird positional shot. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to go over to the side, so I've got a natural angle, but you won't want to really be leaving yourself this full distance. I mean, I'm not going to miss the pot, of course, but why would you want to leave yourself all that distance to travel with? Maybe that's just age. So it has to be said, these first 8 racks, this match has been a shocker for both players, to be fair, not just me. He's made a lot of mistakes himself. I'm just trying to grind it out. I know I've been playing like an idiot in this match. I'm in survival mode. This is a good break though. And he's got a shot, has he? He has got a shot. I mean, if you're in his shoes there and the last 2 or 3 racks he's just missed a few silly balls and played a few bad safeties, so he knows the importance of this run out now. Yeah, he's just feeling it a little bit. Not really sure why. I know in 2010 I won the World 8 Ball Championships. I don't know exactly when this match was. So I don't know if I was world champion or if this was just before. I honestly don't know. Now my point to that is, if I was, maybe that's why he's feeling it a little bit. But you know, if you want to be one of the best players in the world and certainly win tournaments, when you're 6 up and you've got an open table like this, you shouldn't really be looking like you're under it. You should at least be giving off the vibe that, you know, you're ready to win this match. It just looks very edgy. I probably didn't know this at the time sat in the chair, but when I'm watching it now, that's what it looks like. And he played a shocker there. That was all caused by the shot before, just coming a bit too close to the rail. Now he needs a good pot here. Albie just sat there thinking, oh, there's a small sniff here. Yeah, it's a good pot, but it's still left this a little bit longer than he would have liked. Good pot though. Seven two. Surely they've not sent me a video where I get drilled 9-2. That would be funny, to be fair. So, I can see the one ball's over this corner and looks like the white's in the middle. Yeah, I need the overhead camera, there we are. Yeah, so this is a good chance. All the balls are in the open. The big shot is going to be from the 3 to the 4. The 5 does go in the left corner though, but it's where I get on the 4 ball. Let's see where I leave this cue ball now. Yeah, so I'm just going to try and pop this 3 and use the one rail and come down. Kind of where I think I've just put my chalk. Yeah, there you see, it's coming down. Could have done with another little bounce off the rail though. This is a tricky shot, because if you land low, you're not going to be able to pop the 5, so that's what I'm doing there. I'm just finding a point, so I know if I can get anywhere past a certain line, I'm going to be good. Yeah, That's not bad, that. That's not bad at all. You'd rather be long than short there, for obvious reasons. Not quite in the correct position there. And we're going to try and pot this in the middle and just whack it out off 2 rails. Yeah. So that was a useful break and run. That would be my first of the match. Three-point rule, so I think we're just asking if he's made 3 points. Doesn't really matter though, because it was a dry break. I think if it was an illegal break, I'm not sure what the rule. Yeah, I could put him back in so he would play the push shot instead of me, but to be honest, I'm not sure what the rule was back then. It might have been 3-point rule past the kitchen line, but it's not too much of a big deal because he would have pushed or I would have pushed anyway, so who cares? I'll be amazed if I take this shot on. Yeah. Put him straight back in. Couldn't tell there because of the hairstyle. We've both got similar hairstyles, so I didn't know if it was me or him. But he's pushed out there and he's left a little bit of an edge, but I mean, what are you going to do here? Is he just going to try and pot it? It's like such a hard pot. Yeah, and it weren't really on. He's got a good one ball, but just didn't look like he could get the correct angle and missed the balls coming back down, and he caught the jaw and just didn't look natural. So he didn't scratch, but you would think with all them balls down there I could play an half decent safety. I'm not so sure what shoes I've got on there. I won't really be sporting them shoes these days. I mean, look at the state. Now I'm playing safe, or I'm going to go for the long bank. I've gone for the... Well, I've not really gone for the bank. I've gone to try and play it off the top rail, the side rail, and use all them balls in the middle as blockers. It weren't a situation there where you could play a two-way bank, because maybe I could have played a two-way bank, but it was dangerous anyway. The two-way bank weren't really on, because I think it had just been the 2 ball that had been blocking the 1 ball if it had missed. So that was intentional. But it's an easy kick. It's just, where's it going to finish up? Played it well, hit it full. You could see how full he hit the object ball because the cue ball just stopped. So that was a nice shot from Francisco. I mean, you can never be quite certain where the object ball's going to go, but the key part of the shot for him was get distance. Now if I got a gap, there was a bit of a gap, but I think I could only see it full ball. I'm not so sure I could see the left side of it, so I tried to just bank it back up table with a bit of right spin, and again, you would say I've been a little bit fortunate there because the 1 ball can go anywhere. Oh, has he left a gap? He has left a gap. That is a poor shot again. this match so far has been full of poor shots. I'm trying to spin this. Oh, I've butchered that. I was mentioning this before about spinning the ball. It was just something that didn't really come natural when we first come on the scene. Started playing 9-ball around 2000 and... oh God, when did I start playing? Started playing the IPT late 2005, 2006, and when that finished, I played in a couple of 9-ball events. My first ever big 9-ball event was actually the World 9-ball Championships in the Philippines in 27, the one that Peach won. I actually lost in the other semi-finals to Gomez. That was my first ever big experience. That's why I kind of stuck at it, because it was played at the Araneta Coliseum in Manila, and that's where the Thriller in Manila was, by the way. I'm just hacking at balls here, by the way, so I'll just talk about something else. Yeah, that's where the Thriller in Manila was held. It was the same venue, so we played it there. It was live on Sky, and me and Darren, we had a condo just around the corner. We had it for a month. We actually played in a tournament with Manny Pacquiao. You know, Manny Pacquiao was the host of another tournament. I think we played in 3 tournaments. Can't remember the first event, which one it was, but we did play in an event that Manny Pacquiao was the sponsor of. So we rented this condo. It was like an apartment. I had a room, he had a room, and then the living room. But I remember that when we wasn't playing in the world... In fact, let me restart this. This is a good story, this. We went there. I qualified for the event in Holland. I went to... oh, what was the club called now? My mind's gone. Can't remember what the club was called in Holland, but I won the qualifier there, so I got all expenses paid to the World 9-ball Championships in 2007. That's how I got in it. Darren wasn't in the event, but he went to the qualifiers in the Philippines and he didn't qualify. And I remember I'd gone a little bit earlier to play in this other event, and then I was just practicing and I was watching the qualifiers, and he didn't qualify. And I remember being outside and he was crying like frigging Paul Gascoigne that he didn't qualify. I mean, looking back now, it was pretty funny, but he weren't at the time. And we were staying in this condo, and I ended up, I think my first match, I played Fong Pang Chow, who, was it Fong Pang Chow, or... It was either Fong Pang Chow or the Taiwanese guy who'd lost in the final the year before. I'd have to do some research. As you can tell, my memory's shocking. And I won, and I ended up going on, and I got to the semis, and when we come back to the condo, it was like live on TV in the Philippines, so we was watching it all, and I was in the event, and yeah, that's how I ended up sticking and playing 9-ball because of that. But that was actually Matchroom's last World 9-ball Championships. That then it went to Qatar, which wasn't the best of events there, to be fair. And then obviously this year, so 2007 was my first major 9-ball pool tournament, and Matchroom Sport had that event. How mental is that? And then now this year, obviously COVID has put a stop to it, but they've got the rights back to the World 9-ball Championship. So this year, 2020, 13 years later, they now own the World 9-ball Championships again. What about that? And then, of course, obviously when Darren was crying in 27, obviously fast forward 13 years, he's obviously won a lot of majors in the world of 9-ball. So, yeah, it's funny how things happen in life. Good kick shot there, by the way, ducking by all the balls, and the score is 8-3. So there's no way back now. He needs 1 rack. I need 6. I don't recall seeing Manny Pacquiao though there. Seen him once there, but I don't think he was there. But we was there for a month. We did a bit of travelling around Philippines, and we went to the famous club that was one side. So the good kick from myself has forced the error from my opponent. Obviously it's 8-3, there's no way back, so you've got to kind of play no mistake pool, certainly no silly mistakes anyway. These have to go, and it's a decent layout, so there's no real issue. Giving this a good look though, just making sure I've got the right angle. Not too sure I like that shot. Yeah, I'm not so sure I'd play that this day and age, but obviously back then, probably still very new to the game, so had a different eye for it. Obviously coming from my background of English 8-ball, you tend to leave yourself a little straighter on the shots, but 9-ball you don't. So I had to bump into the 9 and leave this long pot on the 5. Cued it okay, and the 6 passes the 7, so yeah, so 8-4 it will be after these 3 balls, and you're kind of just telling yourself to, I mean obviously it's a cliche rack at a time, but if you can just kind of get it back to 8-6, I feel like that 8-6 mark just puts a bit of heat back on your opponent. Sanchez is just praying for an easy layout, and he's made a ball. I'll be sat there ball watching, hoping he doesn't get a shot on the lowest ball, and there you see he doesn't, so that means I'm going to get to the table. Looks a tricky-ish push. So I'm straight up having a look. And I'm looking if there's a combination on. That's what I'm doing there, just lining it up. Where do I have to aim? So Sanchez has left me a little teaser here. And with the looks of it, I've hooked myself. It weren't the best of push outs, to be fair. I mean, it weren't It weren't a difficult combo. So I'm trying to go 2 rails in it below the 1 ball here just to leave distance. And I've hit it 2 full. But boy oh boy, I've been a lucky boy. There you see, holding the hand up, saying sorry, even though deep down you don't really mean it. That could have gone anywhere really. If I'd have left him straight in, I'd have been out the tournament. So he had to go off the top rail to hit the 1, and he's not hit a rail. So that piece of good fortune from myself has meant I've got ball in hand, and looking where the balls are, these are sitting. I standed very strange back then though, very wide. Played pretty quick as well. Don't remember playing this quick. Just a simple draw shot for the 9, and this for 8-5. And with myself breaking, just what a nice layout here. Made a ball, and I have a shot on the 1. So it's an easy pot, it's just making sure you find that gap in between the 9 and the red 3 ball. It's a pretty big gap, so I'm sure I'm stood at the table thinking this is not the end of the world. Now the 3 ball doesn't look like it passes that green number 6. I'm just having a glance. Now if it did go, I could just pot the 2 ball and float the cue ball back up between the gap, but I don't think it does go. I don't want to drag this in, so I think that's why I've played some kind of bump shot. Just kind of nudging it, hoping it, goes kind of up table a little bit, and choice of a couple of pockets. It's actually landed really nice. Nice angle there. Just play this over to the left side of the table, above the middle pocket, like so. That'll work out alright. Cue ball's a little close to the rail, but the natural angle's pulling this down. Like so, an 8-6. So in my mind now I'll be thinking, okay, not really been in this match, played like a complete clown, but it's 8-6, so you just kind of, something inside you just clicks and you think, okay, I'm still in this set, I'm still in this match, so anything can happen. I'm straight out of my chair there because it's an illegal break. He's not made the 3 points. No, it's not an easy pot on the one, it's quite thin. Let's see what kind of weird safety shot I'd play back then. I mean, as I said before, this has got to be 8, 9, 10 years ago, this match. Yep, cue ball's way too short. Didn't even have the right line to get back in the 6 there, so... And it's not a bad chance, this. If we can just pop this ball, cue ball's going to come back down towards the middle of the table for the 2, but he's missed it. He's feeling it a little bit. He's had a couple of chances now to finish me off. Made the pot, but that cue ball needs to slow up. It needs to slow up. Have I landed on the 2? Yeah, I think I was alright. I don't know if, even if I had to put a bit of right spin on it just to help it turn over, it was still fine. This looks a pretty good angle and all, so just tell yourself, make sure you pot the ball. Cue ball will come out naturally. There you see, fired it in, to be fair. It's funny watching this, really. I mean, I look to be playing pretty quick, but I never really felt I played that quick, even back then, but Well, I did. An 8-7. We have got action, Jackson. Just one good break to get it to Hill. That's all you're thinking. A good break as well, good cut break. And they have a shot on the one. So I've just decided to pot the one and leave myself a shot on the 3. Cue ball will be running towards the 5 ball, which is on the side rail. Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at there. I'm looking to just try and go through the gap. I mean, you don't really usually bump balls when you're playing 9 ball, but I think it was thin and I've nudged it. I've nudged it over the middle, so that's actually not the worst result. I wonder if I meant to play that. Unfortunately, I can't think back. Just making sure I leave myself an angle on the green 6. The worst thing you could do here would be to land on the side rail and land straight on it. There you see, nice angle. And there's a few people gathered over to see the end of this match because they know it's going to go hill. 8-3 down. Playing like I've never played the game before and managed to snap off the last 5 racks to give myself a chance. Oh, what have I played there? Wow. That was very edgy, a little bit too much side on it, or not enough to come above the middle, who knows. But that was a shocker. Always probably been my strongest point, potting the ball though, so just stay still. And there it is, it's 8-8. But he does have the break. Again, I know I keep saying this, but I'll have been sat there praying he doesn't get an easy layout. That's all you can ask for. Yeah, he lost the cue ball a bit low, so that meant not a good split, not the split that you're looking for. And the cue ball is covered a little bit by the 4. So it's not an easy pot. I'm not sure if I can get me cue in and where I can hit the cue ball, and also I'm not so sure if I can pot the one in the far left. I mean, the scratch isn't on, I don't think. No, the scratch is not on. No, so I can get my cue to it, so I could actually just kind of draw it off the side rail and then off the top rail. A little bit like that. That's a good shot. It's 8-8. It's not a match that I've played great in, so I'm not feeling 100%. So it was a good pot. And it's given myself a chance. Just off straight here, so yeah, nothing silly, just a nice little shot there on the right side of the 3. Yeah, decent angle again there. Now I can just pot this ball and come in between the left side pocket and the 8 ball. Yeah, just anywhere around there. When it's hill and it's been this type of match where you've not, played great and you've probably not felt great on the cue, you just trying to make sure you keep everything simple. Do nothing silly. Cue ball went probably a little bit further than I'd have liked. I mean, obviously, I didn't want to dice with the 8 ball, but certainly didn't want to come this far down. So span it 2 rails for the 7 in the side, which is fine. Just composing myself, making sure I try and leave myself the right side of the 8 ball, so I'm not doing anything silly. So I fired it in and used the rail. I certainly didn't mess about back then. Now I'm looking at the table, looking at like I'd play a different shot, but I fired it in. That's more like frame ball, perfect on the 9, and that is how you come back from 8-3 down. What a win. Thanks for watching.